As you can see, the summer is still going strong, so today we're here to talk about summer movies. I've always been kind of a summer person. There is always a certain aesthetic to Christmas, to winter, you know, all that, but I just don't really like the cold. I've always just been more of I'd rather have it a bit too warm than a bit too cold type of person. So that's why I've been looking forward to the summer all year long. So I made a top 5 of summer movies that came out during the summers of these particular years, which just really capture the summer vibe and also are just fantastic movies to watch during that time. Hi, welcome back to the Cozy Coffee Corner here at Flickspresso, where we will be unraveling cinema one sip at a time. So let's begin, shall we? So on number 5 of this list we have Lilo and Stitch, released in the summer of 2002. Two young and parentless sisters adopt a dog from the local pound, completely unaware that it's supposedly a dangerous scientific experiment that's taken refuge on Earth and is now hiding from its creator, and those who see it as a menace.
His name is Stitch.
Oh, great! He's loose!
He's taken a police cruiser.
He took the red one.
That crazy trog is about to make us jump!
Where is he?
A place called Hawaii.
Oh.
The film's setting in Hawaii provides a vibrant and culturally rich backdrop, enhancing the story's emotional depth. And I think setting is always very important in movies because it can make or break the emotional depth that you feel with the characters. And I think also the use of Hawaiian music and the cultural references, I think they kind of add an authentic touch that also enriches the viewing experience. The animation style, with its softer lines and kind of watercolor backgrounds, it stands out from other Disney films of that era, offering a visually appealing summer aesthetic.
Walt Disney Pictures presents Lilo and Stitch.
On number 4 of this list we have Rear Window. Rear Window is kind of a suspenseful thriller. It's made by Alfred Hitchcock and it's released in the summer of 1954. A house and wheelchair-bound photographer named L.B. Jeffries, his fashion model girlfriend and his visiting nurse spy on his neighbors from his courtyard window. They're convinced one of his neighbors is a murderer. The film explores themes of voyeurism and the ethics of surveillance, all while maintaining Hitchcock's signature tension and suspense.
This is the scene of the crime. A crime of passion, filmed in a way you have never seen before, and as no one else would dare attempt. But the screen's master of suspense, the producer-director who shocked the world with Psycho.
And why am I including this on a summer movies list? It's because if you're watching this movie, you can feel the disgusting summer heat just like dripping down your neck in the form of sweat, of course. Because in the movie, it's also the middle of the summer. You can, like, everyone's wearing these beautiful summer outfits and you know, the sun is always shining bright. Maybe it's also because of those big studio lights that are everywhere. Hitchcock's Rear Window is very often talked about as one of Hitchcock's best movies. In my opinion, it's not my favorite Hitchcock, but it's definitely one of the more memorable ones. And if you're like, oh no, I don't want to watch scary movies during the summer, this movie isn't really that scary. Yes, it is a suspenseful thriller, but it's not a horror movie, not by far. You could show this to a 6-year-old and the 6-year-old would still not get nightmares from this. It's not that scary, so don't worry about that. I think the film's confined setting, like this single apartment and the view of the courtyard, it creates this intense sense of claustrophobia. And Hitchcock uses this limited space to its full advantage, employing clever camera angles and movements to build suspense and convey Jeffrey's point of view.
In this story of a romance shadowed by the terror of a horrifying secret.
So on number 3 on the list, we have Back to the Future. I've got a little thing from Back to the Future. you can see it, So Back to the Future is a sci-fi adventure movie released in the summer of 1985 by Robert Zemeckis. Marty McFly, a 17-year-old high school student, is accidentally sent 30 years into the past in a time-traveling DeLorean invented by his close friend, the maverick scientist Doc Brown.
Mom? Had a horrible nightmare. Dreamed that I went back in time.
Well, safe and sound now, back in good old 1955.
1955?
This movie is very nostalgic to me in a way, because when I first watched this movie, I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. I was visiting my cousins, and my uncle, he came downstairs with this movie and he was like, you guys gotta see this. We didn't see a trailer beforehand or anything, so we didn't know what to expect at all. At least I didn't. And this movie was kind of like magic? I don't know how to explain it. And then we saw the 2 sequels right afterwards, like we were addicted to it immediately. And over the years, I've watched this trilogy again and again and again. I can't even tell you, I've lost count as of how many times I've watched the Back to the Future franchise at this point. I think it's one of the best trilogies of the 1980s, period. Also, when I think of the 1980s era of cinema, Back to the Future is also one of those movies that first comes to mind when you think about it, along with maybe Indiana Jones, among other examples. It has a very innovative plot and it blends seamlessly with this kind of science fiction, but also comedy and adventure. I think this is just one of Back to the Future's greatest strengths. You know, the concept of time travel, which is usually a very complicated subject, and it's handled with this creativity and also this clarity, making this appealing for both younger and older audiences. Like, they're explaining everything perfectly. Like, of course, there's still questions left unanswered, but most of the important questions get answered. You just gotta see it for yourself. If you haven't watched this movie yet, please do, and do it while it's still summer, because then you'll get the best experience.
Marty, we're sending you back to the future!
On number 2 of this list, we have Bullet Train, released in the summer of 2022. 5 assassins aboard a swiftly moving Japanese bullet train find out that their missions have something in common. This movie stars Brad Pitt and also Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Joey King, among others. The movie blends stylish direction with a complex narrative, offering audiences a fast-paced, visually captivating experience with lots of fight scenes in John Wick style. You know, they're all there for a mission, and then it's basically all these assassins, they're basically trying to kill each other. The movie has so many vibrant colors and all this, like it's like you're watching an anime movie, but played out in real life. Know what I mean? I remember it was late 2021 or early 2022 when a first trailer dropped for this movie, and I was so hyped to see it. It set expectations, and then later when the movie actually released and I went to the cinema to see it, it completely lived up to everything that it promised. And that is rare nowadays. A lot of trailers I see nowadays are very kind of over-revealing, or you get to see parts of the plot that you don't want to have spoiled yet. And I think Bullet Train's trailer is just the vibes and just some of the key scenes, but not the spoilers. It sets expectations and lives up to its promise entirely. If you haven't watched Bullet Train yet, then that's okay, but you're definitely missing out on something.
We are right on schedule.
Everything that's ever happened to you
This is gonna sting, bitch!
has led you here. Fate.
That's a shit deal.
And at number 1 we have Stand By Me, directed by Rob Reiner. It's basically a coming-of-age drama film set in the late 50s. A writer recounts a childhood journey with his friends in the late 50s to find the body of a missing boy rumored to be lying in the woods near their small town. Along the way, they confront personal fears and insecurities, share deep conversations, and strengthen their bonds of friendship. Their adventure leads them to a deeper understanding of themselves and each other.
Oh man, wait to hear this. What is it, man? You guys want to go see a dead body?
What this movie mostly does, just like The Goonies, for example, it's basically a movie just like it. It's very much about the innocence of childhood, but also the challenges that come along with it. All the kids that starred in this movie were fantastic in their roles, and I rarely think child actors are actually good, but in this movie I think the kids just bring depth and authenticity and overall believability to their roles. And I think it makes their characters, their friendships, but also their personal struggles, it makes it so much more genuine and relatable. It builds very much upon this sense of adventure, just that kind of childhood adventure, like you're still young and you just want to explore things. You just want to do things with your friends, right? And then a rumor drops like, oh, there's the body of a missing kid somewhere nearby, and it's on walking distance, but not very close, but still far enough away that it's still more than a day of walking, but it's kind of walking distance, I guess. But it's just this sense of adventure, and it's like, wouldn't we all secretly have wanted to do something like this when we were kids? It's exciting. In a sense, it's kind of like a sleepover party. It's except you're out in the open, you're in nature. You know, even the author of the book that this movie was based on, Stephen King, you must know Stephen King, was crying in the theater, and upon being asked why he was crying so much in the theater, he answered that this movie was the best adaptation of a book he's ever written. First of all, it shows how much of a fantastic writer he is, and second of all, it shows what a fantastic movie this really is. If you've enjoyed The Goonies, if you've enjoyed E.T., then you're definitely gonna love Stand By Me. And that is a promise.
You, come back here!
That's it for this video today. Thank you so much. Please let me know down here in the comments what your absolute favorite summer movie is. So don't be shy, spark up a conversation. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and then I'll be seeing you next time.